Alrighty, hey guys, thank you for joining once again. Just gonna do a quick how-to video. Today, we're gonna be looking at trend lines. So in essence, a trend line is a line drawn over pivot highs or under pivot lows to show the prevailing direction of price. So pretty much it means that you draw it under price or you draw it above price. So we're gonna just jump into some quick little tutorial on how we go about drawing trend lines. Now, for trend lines, ideally, we would want to have price touching that trend line multiple times. So if we're just gonna look at this area right here, then this would be a valid trend line. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches and then price breaks right here. However, this trend line hasn't been retested, sorry. So in essence, we want to first know how to go about drawing trend lines, and then how do we use our trend lines to enter um, our trades. So again, once you have two, I like to have three touches. It's just a personal preference, but two works fine just the same. So with this trend line going up, it means that you're gauging price in the uptrend. Then you're waiting for it to break or waiting to see if it breaks to get in on the retest for the change in trend. All right. So we can draw trend lines just about anywhere where price is at the moment. You just wanting to know what's gonna happen. So if price is here, then you can just draw it here as well. Or one other thing as well. So with trend lines, some persons use wicks for a trend line. So they'd put it here and use wicks all along. Some tend to use the body of the candle. Some uses both. For me, it's a matter of preference, really, just as to what you understand, how best you understand it, because wicks are still price points, even though you may not get a candle close there, you still have it's still counter's price going into that area, even though it's just a wick. So on this one, we'd have wicks showing where we had 1, 2 tests, and then we got a break here. We got a retest, which is what we would have used for your entry. Yes, you would use more confirmations than just the break and retest. But for this one, you're just focusing on what it is and how you would actually go about using that trend line. So at times, again, you may have a case where you draw your trend line waiting for something to happen and price just keeps going through it. Adjusting the trend line is fine. The side here, you'd have three touches of your trend line, price breaks, waiting for the retest, but then price just goes through your trend line. For me, this trend line would now be invalid based on the fact that price did not reject from here. All right, so that is pretty much it. It's not something that's really complicated. You just have to know what it is that you're looking for and wait for whatever it is that you're looking for in terms of confirmations. You can draw a trend line from pretty much anywhere price is in the market. So you see this is 1, 2. We got a break here, waiting to see if you get a retest. Price doesn't always retest all trend lines because this could be a retest here as well, but not for this specific trend line. So you have to know what it is that you're looking for as it relates to price giving you a retest or not. So this one is a trend line that I had, which I used to get into the gold buys that I took at the beginning of last week. This is on the 10th of April. It's Monday, that's when we took it. So I had other confirmations, but this is a major trend line because this is also coming from the 4 hour time frame. So it had one, two, three, four touches, then we got a break, waited for the retest right here, took the entry all the way up. We secured just about 500 pip on this move here. The entry was a 1983.20. We secured 500 pip, and price gave some extras just off of this move. Just this entry rather, we had additional entries going through. So you do have to just pay attention to price. Try not to force a trend line in areas. You look at your trend, you see what price is doing, and then you use your trend line to gauge what is happening in the market. So you're not trying to use the trend line to decide what's happening. You're just using it as a gauge. Because right here is a bit of a consolidation area right in here. As you see, it wasn't breaking highs, wasn't breaking any lows. You wanted to see what was happening. You just threw a trend line in there at the top to say, okay, I'm using this trend line to see if we get a break above. You could as well use one at the bottom if you like, just to see. Let's say maybe from here, could do something of a sort. And then you wait. So for me, this trend line now would have been invalid right here because it broke and then it went right through it. So this trend line right here would have now been invalid for me. So personally, I would have deleted that, right? And then I would have kept this on here. Now, as I was saying about using wicks, using body or majority of pricing, this trend line can be adjusted to look like this, right? Because you have majority of price closing in right on this trend line, even right here where it touched, rejected, and then it broke, right? So that is something you can have. And then now you would use whatever confirmation it is to see if price is gonna go back to retest this right away, or you use other confirmations. But for right now, we're focusing on trend lines. So pretty easy. As I'm saying, two touches validates a trend line. I personally like to use three, but I do use two as well. Once you have that, you get a clean break of your trend line and price pushes away. It now classifies as a clean break, and then you just wait for your retest. See, this took some time, but it retested and then it shot right up. So that is it. Quick little lesson today on trend lines. Hope this will be of help. And thank you guys once again for tuning in and all the best with your trading.